Good morning. I'm Lisa Logan. Welcome to Forsaken Parents. I also am a forsaken parent. And listen, forsaken parents, estranged parents, rejected parents, alienated parents, forsaken parents. Okay. We're parents who love our children, and for whatever reason, I'm going to be able to tell you the reason, we have become estranged by our adult child. It's terrible. It's horrible. I've gone through it. I understand it. And now I know what we need to do about it. And when I finally found that out, I went, I'm dropping everything. I'm going to do this. We're going to work on it together, you and I, and we're going to put a stop to it to the best of my ability. Okay? Listen, alienated, estranged, rejected parents, they're all the same thing. And what that amounts to is forsaken parents. So, this is the schedule that's from here on out. Let me say I'm a psychotherapist in private practice for years and years. I think my voice is lower than usual, and it's because it's cold outside. I'm back in my studio. It's very early in the morning. It's after 6 and before 7. How's that? And because if I wait too long, it's going to get real hot out here. So, and I wanted to be back in the studio. I've also been a college instructor. I've been in private practice for years and years. I've been a college instructor, and I taught psychology, sociology, and chemical dependence later on when it came about. I was a radio talk show host of 2 different programs and a licensed minister from the Vietnam War on. Oh, that's so long ago. And I used that license to marry couples over the years, my clients and other people, and I have beautiful stories about them. Listen, I'm going to be making weekly videos every Monday now. You can expect a new weekly video, and these are the topics that I'm going to be covering. They're free. I want you to watch them in order. This is number 1, and I'm going to tell you the topic of each thing. Part of the video is going to be about the subject that I'm going to give you, and the other part is going to be about transactional analysis, and I'll show you that. An excellent tool toward changing your relationship with your adult child. I want you to do that. I want this to be healed. I'm dedicating the rest of my life to this. I'm so serious about it, and I care about you. I have cried with you many times. This is wrong, and I've cried with myself. This is wrong. It's wrong what's happening, but it makes sense. And I'm going to tell you that your adult child, the person who's doing this to you, and some of you have more than one child who's turned against you. I'm so sorry that that's going on for you. None of you deserve it, and I don't either. Okay. So, the weekly video is free, and I want you to watch them in order, and I want you to do the suggestions that I give you to do the homework. There's a reason why I'm giving it to you, and there's more than just that. And I'll tell you that in just a second. But these are your topics that you're going to have, probably more. I'll probably add more on, but this is what I've got for right now. First, what is parental rejection? Why it's happening? The shame that you feel because of it? And none of it is your fault. Okay? Understand that? I'm going to say that to you every single week. This is not your fault. I want you to know that I thought about deleting the rest of the videos. I think there are about 75 on YouTube right now, and I was going to delete all of them so that you'll just have these to follow. You look at all of those too. These are different. They're more teachable and and I have the way out of it now, and that changes everything. Okay, so a different topic each week. The first week, which will be next week, what is parental rejection, why it's happening, the shame that you feel because of it, that I felt because of it, and it's not about us. The second week after that, why are you being blamed by your child, and not only by your child, possibly your family members, possibly a minister, possibly your doctor, but also by society. And you don't deserve it. You did not do anything to start this. I'll give you a certificate that says that. This person did not cause this to happen. The third week is how you can put an end to it in your personal life, but also in society. I don't just care about you and me. I care about the world. People all over the world are going through this. True. The fourth week, we're going to have to talk about alcoholism and chemical dependence. I bet you that plays a role in this. I'm not saying with you, although if it does, you get to start thinking about no longer drinking if you have a problem. But no, I think that alcoholism and chemical dependence plays a big part in this. And guess what? It just so happens that I spent years focusing in my private practice on the disease of alcoholism and chemical dependence. And what happened was, I loved it. It was, once I discovered what alcoholism was about and what needed to be done to treat it, I started having success cases just like that. 1 month of the person who was the alcoholic not drinking and getting sober and going to 12-step meetings, they changed so drastically in a very positive way that I was able to work quickly, expediently with the entire family and help them come back together. And that was my goal. That's what I wanted. Okay, so we have to talk about alcoholism. I would be remiss if I didn't say this may be a part of it, because it just may well be. And the fifth week, let's talk about your adult child's background. What I want you to do each week is write, buy a notebook and start this each week and start writing. Make it your own diary, your own book. How about that? And so during the fifth week, we're going to start talking about their backgrounds. And the sixth week, the bottom line is losing your family. That's truly what you're most frightened by. But you're innocent. So you get to find out who is doing it and why it's happening. However, that's terrifying, the thought of no longer being able to see your grandchild. And I know several of you now who are going through that. I feel so sad about the whole thing. It's wrong. The grandchild loses out. Your adult child loses out. They actually need you. And they're going to come to find that out. I'll show you. This is sneaky stuff. And the seventh week, suicide. Suicide is very much a part of what you're going through. The thoughts of suicide. And some of you do commit suicide. Thank you. I will never stop thinking of the person who wrote and said, I had a gun to my head. I was ready to pull the trigger, and something stopped me. That's called God. And I watched your video instead, and now I understand. Actually, I've had several notes about that. Don't commit suicide. Don't commit suicide. I need to stop for a second. I'm not judgmental about anyone who decides that's what they need to do. I'm respectful, but at least give us a chance to show you why it is not what you have to do in order to alleviate your pain. That's why people commit suicide, is to get out of their pain. There's another way, and it's here. How about that? I'm so excited. I am. And the last week, except we're going to have other stuff. You know me better than that. We'll have lots more topics. Is there hope for you? Yes. Yes, there is. There is hope for you. And it's right here. Okay. And it's free. Okay. And along with this weekly support video, I'm also offering you a private weekly group, support group. And I'm charging you $3. $3 a week. How's that? That ain't too shabby. And the reason that I'm charging, but only $3, is because I want you to help so that I have the money to pay for advertising to get this going. So $3. You can pay more if you want to, and I want you to know how much I appreciate those of you who have made donations at this point. But the support group is not about donations. You must pay the $3 a week in order to attend that group. It will be only people, it's closed to everyone else. So it will only be for people who are signed up and are a support group member. And anyway, I'll let you know more. As soon as I have enough people signed up, then we'll start that group. So, and then along with that, which is a group that's exclusively for forsaken parents, I'm going to also have another weekly video that's free for your adult child and other adult children. Yeah, let me explain that in just a second. And third, later on still, I'll be offering a support group for you and your adult child group. And that will be forsaken parents, adult children, all in the same group, talking about what this has been like. But that will only be after your adult child goes through their own group. And I'm going to tell you what their group is about. It's going to be fun. You're welcome to go to the one just like this. And if they want to, they're welcome to come to this group, although for you, the Forsaken Parents group, although that's not necessary. I don't want to harp too much on them for being adult children who are doing something bad, because the truth is, now that I understand what's happening, thank you, God, I understand that they're also a victim. My daughter is a victim. She's a victim of what happened to her when she was a little girl, even a tiny baby. And what that's about is the fact that in my family, I was married to her father, who, when he came home from Vietnam, drank so much more than he'd ever drinking when he went away. And it affected who he was, and it affected who he became with his daughter. And it affected our relationship. Obviously, we split apart. I did that. And my intent was only that we would be split apart until he quit drinking and understood how serious I was about what he was doing. But he never quit. Till the day he died, he continued to drink. He drank through his cirrhosis of the liver. So sad. But his daughter never had a father. So that counts. Okay. So this is what I have for your adult child. Videos that are called Forever Can Be Forever. Forever can be forever. And guess what? It's about how to fall in love and make it lasting love. Has nothing at all to do with what they're doing with you, does it? But it does, because later on, they and me, that's so bad. They and I will be talking with them about what their life was like when they were small. And I want them to write about it too. Just like I want you to write about your own background. Your background first. That's for next week. That's your homework. And I'd like for you to send it to me if you want to. I don't want to expose any of you, but I'd appreciate it if you'd write to me and let me know what your background was when you were little. And if you give me permission, there may be some of them that I'll read because they're going to help the rest of you. If you're in the private group that will meet every Monday at noon Pacific time, then you'll be able to talk to each other about it. But that's a closed group. Got to pay your $3 to get in. And I also have to know that you are an estranged parent, a rejected parent. Nobody else gets to be in those groups. Okay. The video for your adult child is called Forever Can Be Forever. And it's about how to find lasting love, or how to have the relationship that they've always wanted. You are welcome to come to that group. You're going to find it interesting. But the way I'm going to do it is I'm turning it into their own personal movie. Aren't we into stars these days? You know. And I even have pictures of Marilyn Monroe in that group that you don't get. But if you really want them, I'll have them in this group too. Marilyn Monroe was a tragic young woman who had inherited the genetic predisposition to alcoholism and chemical dependence from her mother. I don't know about her father, whether she inherited it from him too, and who lived without ever getting help for it throughout her life, her short tragic life. By the time she was 9 years old, in the foster home where she lived, she had already been sexually assaulted as a child. So I'm not at all judging negatively foster parents. That could have happened by anyone, but because I appreciate, my sister was a foster parent, she and her husband. So no, I don't look at them askance. I'm deeply appreciative of what they're doing. Okay, you're my foster children. This is what I do in my life. Okay, you're welcome to watch the videos. I think you'll enjoy them and even find information for you. True, you will. Everybody can use it. You guys, I'm in a wonderful relationship. I'm going to be in that relationship for the rest of our lives. And I feel blessed to have found love, lasting love. And I want to share that with you. So you're welcome to come to the group. That group, the tape is out, because that group starts but you can't come to the group, the private group. That group is at 6 o'clock at night Pacific time for the adult child. Only adult children can come to that private group, just like only forsaken parents can come to, and they're $3 groups, can come to the private group for forsaken parents. You have to be signed up. We're not in a hurry to get those groups going because we got to have enough people that there is a group there. Okay? So you're welcome to watch those videos. I know you're going to enjoy them. You'll learn a lot. But I want you, then you're going to have 2 homeworks. So, because you got to write about what's going on as a forsaken parent. If you want to join the group and have your own movie, you get to be the director. It's fine. Love to have you. And that group also is $3, so you'll be paying me $6 a week at that point if you do that. Okay. The thing is, what's happening to the adult child is that their background is prohibiting them from being able to be in a solid, good relationship. For the most part, not all of them. My daughter and my son-in-law have one of the best marriages I've ever seen. And for that I am grateful, and for that I take some credit. I was a damn good mother. Oh, listen, one of you wrote, either last night or this morning, and said you knew that I loved my daughter. I was touched. Thank you. I do love my daughter. Thank you so much for writing that. I appreciated it. It was nice. I wanted to know about you, honey. Why are you at the website? It would be nice if you were my daughter and wrote that. My daughter knows that I love her. She does know. And she's a victim. She's a victim of her early childhood. And that early childhood has affected not her relationship, because I knew what was going on, and I gave her everything I knew she needed. And I was good at it. I was a therapist, a loving therapist. I continue to be a loving therapist with all of you, and I always have been. When I was in my big practice, the secret was that I cared so deeply about the people who came in to see me. And I know there were about 2 or 3 over the years, and it was a lot of years. But I had to say, you know what? I think you need to see somebody else. You deserve to really be cared about and understood in a way that I can't give you. And it isn't anything about you, it's my problem. But I want to help you find a new therapist. And I would do that for 2 or 3 people. That's not many. The rest of them I loved and cared about. Really, the way I love and care about you. It's true. And thank you, the way you love and care about me. It's reciprocated. Thank you, thank you. You've brought joy into my life about a subject that I never, ever thought there would be any joy about for me. I didn't know that you existed. I thought I was alone, just like you think you're alone when you first got into this. Listen, this is all over the world. There's hundreds of thousands of people who are going through exactly what you and I have gone through and are going through. Okay. So, what I'm doing with the adult child is helping them to fall in love or to stay in love, teaching them how to be in love. And through that, as their early childhood comes out and they understand it, then there will be a time when I can talk to them about what this has been like for the forsaken parent. And then we can come together. And we will. I know we will. Okay, it's exciting. What I've done is I've got something for everyone. Yay! Do you like it? And if you don't like it, I don't think I want to hear about it. I got my first I don't like you letter. But it's from someone who writes those letters around the internet, and I've been worried about them. You know, I'll tell you something. On the internet, I worry about the people who've written something as a response to an article and get bombed by, we don't want to do that. I've always worried about what the person who wrote the original letter, you know what I'm talking about, goes through when they hear that crap. that gets written back to them. It's wrong. But I've always worried about the person who's been writing the letters. People, lots of people. Because what must their life be like that they have that much anger to let out? I care about them too, but this is about forsaken parents. I care about us. There was no answer to why it was happening, and now there is. For me, it happened as I was writing my book. I'd taken off from the rest of you, writing my book and writing about my daughter's background, and all of a sudden I went, I'll be damned. That's what it is. That's what caused this. They've never dealt with the feelings, our adult children, that they had little tiny victims. They've never dealt with those feelings. My daughter certainly didn't. But the reason that they haven't dealt with them is because they're afraid. They're afraid. They're so tiny. But, look you're dealing with a little person who, if his or her parents are going to get a divorce, they say, I've done something bad to make mommy and daddy split apart. And that's what they did with, and that's what's causing all of this. And if I cover all the bases, eventually I can bring the two of you, the hundreds of you, in a group and begin to talk about it. And I'm looking forward to it. I know that it's going to happen. So that is part of it, because also each week you're going to get your lesson in transactional analysis. Can you see that? Let me take this off. Look at my new, I have a cold one, you've seen it in easel, but look at how beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? Eventually this is going to go to my granddaughter. Isn't that beautiful? It's brass. It's so special. But I'm borrowing. I'm keeping it for right now until I'm not here anymore, and then she can have it. So, transactional analysis. Eric Byrne, medical doctor, psychiatrist, and author, and transactional analysis will help you understand what you're doing with your adult child. Remember the 3 circles for those of you who've watched the other tapes? And you know about it. It's exciting. And what you've been doing before won't work. It won't work. It can't. And I want to help you make it work. But you've been doing it the wrong way, honey. And I was too. I thought if I just tell my daughter in this 25-page letter, oh, Lord, that she never read. Because her way, I found out later on when she told me, her way of getting back at me was to go, oh, this is ridiculous, and throwing it away. My hunch is her husband held on to those letters, and he's still got them, and that they are available. So, but it won't work. The way we're doing it, the way we were doing it, me too, doesn't work. It doesn't. Pushes them further away. This other I'm coming in through the back door. I'm making their own group up. And who's in control in your relationship with your adult child? Are you in control? No. It's easy for you to answer that. And yes, it is your child that's in control. Or somebody else. We'll go over that. And you're not used to that because you, just like me, are used to being in control. I'm the mother. I am so wise. What the heck does she think she's doing? I didn't say that to her because I knew that if I talked that way to her, that I could be banished from my own family, and there was nothing that frightened me more. Okay. Well, we used to be in control. That's the way it always was. But welcome to the world of parental estrangement, parental rejection, parental alienation. It sucks. Did I say that? It's the most terrible thing that's ever happened to any of us other than the death of a child. Okay? So, it's exciting because what you're going to learn here, two of the goals are that you become capable of changing the ways that you respond to your child. So I am asking you only to do the assignments that I give you in this group, in this video, each week, that you write it up, that you keep it for yourself, and if you're willing, that you send it to me. And if you give me permission when you send it to use it, I thank you for doing that because it will help everyone else. So, and my knowledge is that you're going to do it because you did it the last time I asked. Really appreciate it, babies. And there's one more thing. Parental estrangement, parental rejection, parental alienation, being a forsaken parent is the hardest thing that will ever happen to you other than the death of a child. I hope to God that does not happen to you, but it's second only to that. There is nothing harder. Okay? So it should never be underestimated what it is that you're going through. It's hurting your health. It's hurting your emotional health. I bet we are the group of people, bar none, who take more medication for high blood pressure than any other group of people. I say these studies, they haven't been done yet. They will be. So, simply put, what you and I are going through is horrible. And the truth is that it's more of us who are estranged parents than there are parents who have lost a child to death. Okay? A child who dies before they're old and it's time for them to die is much less than the child who rejects their parents. There are more of us, and we need help. Listen, so I can't promise you that you're going to come back together again with your child, but we're going to give it a fighting chance. And I feel so much better about doing that than I ever have before. What I can give you, I can't give you that promise, but what I can give you is love. And I can give you hope. I have hope for you from me, because I also am a forsaken parent, and I understand exactly what you're going through, but I also know what it's going to take to fix it. I'm so excited, and I'm so glad this new segment is starting. So, I'm going to say goodbye, tell you that I love you, and I mean it, and that I care about you, and I mean it, and I thank you for being here, for writing to me the way you do. And I'm going to make the next tape now, which is for your adult child. You're welcome to stick around. What that means is that you have to now go on to YouTube and look up Forever Can Be Forever and Lisa Logan, and you'll find the tape that's going to be for your child, and you'll get to see a picture of Marilyn Monroe and Albert Einstein together. I love Albert Einstein. I love him. I don't care how you feel about him. Beautiful, beautiful human being. And Marilyn, a precious child that was hurting badly. Okay. Anyway, I got to make sure I have that picture now that I've just told you about it. You're welcome to watch their tapes too. You just can't join their group. Please be fair. No sneaking into that group and listening. I mean, you can't get in anyway. Only people that that are paying, and I click the thing and give you the secret code, can get into that group. But I'm doing that. I want them to honor not going into your group either. Although I'm not talking about you and forsaken parents to them at this point. I'll do that later on. They don't look. Let me tell you this much. They don't care about you at this point. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry. But if I started a group for adult children of forsaken parents, I would be a lonely therapist. Got it? Got it. They're not ready. They're taking their hurt and their pain out from their childhood. Even when they were infants, they're taking it out on you because you're safe for their anger. They know that you're not going to hurt them. I'm sorry. I wish there had been any other way that my daughter could have worked this out, because she has. My heart is torn apart by what's happened, just like yours. But you know what? There isn't anything I wouldn't do for her to help her get through life. I mean that. So, I almost got through one video without crying. I love you. See you next week. Bye-bye.